Right, okay, it's Romeo Crow here from helpingpeoplecreate.com, and in today's video we're looking at Cubase and how to set up Q-Sends, headphone mixes basically, even if it looks like your hardware unit can't do it. So I'm using the Steinberg UR242, and this is perfect if you're a solo producer, bedroom producer or whatever, and it looks like your audio hardware can't do separate mixes. It probably can, because if mine can, yours can. And this is super helpful because if you're recording, as I do, different instruments, I'm recording the drums, I'm playing the drums, I want to hear a different mix in my headphones to when I'm recording guitars or when I'm doing my vocals or what have you. So unless you've screwed up your shortcut keys, press F4 and that'll bring up your audio connections. Now you'll notice in outputs you've probably got your audio device selected here. If I click here, you can see I've got my Steinberg audio device. We don't want that. That's for losers. That's for people who haven't seen this video. But you are watching this video, so you don't need to do that. What you want to do is go across to Control Room, like a boss, and make sure it's activated with this Enable Disable button. Mine is activated, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. Right click, and then you're going to add a Q mix. You can see I can't add a Q mix because it's not there, because I already have 4. So if I got rid of one of them, boom, I can remove this one, and now you'll see I can add a Q because I have one available. So you'd right click that, configuration, I want it to be stereo. How you dare mono, what are you doing? This is for vocals. Okay, there we go, there's my Q mix. I'm also going to need a monitor mix. As you can see, I've already got one here, but I could just add another monitor. I've got up to 4 I could do, but I only need the one. I'm only using actually one set of monitors, and I don't use them that often. Anyways, most of the stuff I'm doing, especially when I'm tracking, is through headphones, not through the monitors, obviously. And because the Yamaha 242 is designed by some kind of idiot at Yamaha or Steinberg, at least one part of it, and though it's got separate headphones output where you can control the volume separately to the main output for the monitor speakers, there is no separate routing for the audio, which means I can't have a different mix for my headphones as I can for my monitors, which seems to me an oversight. So if you right click here and you see add headphone mix, don't get ahead of yourself. They want you to press that button. That button there, that's just going to send you down a dark alley of destruction, death and desolation when you're trying to set up your headphone mix, because it's not going to work. So let's get rid of that. Bosh. Yeah, remove. It's for losers. Right, monitor, here we go. That's all you need to do. If you've done that, you can then, if you know what you're doing around the control room and setting up a Q send, that's going to sort it out. This is the bit that throws you off, where you have audio devices here. You don't need to connect anything. It looks like you want to, and then you go, oh, wait a minute, I can't use these because they're already in use by this monitor. So, but it's not, forget about that. That's just confusing you for no good reason. So we just want not connected for all of these. It's the monitor, because as I said, on my unit, everything goes out of the same output, whether I'm listening in headphones, whether I'm listening on my monitor, and the Q mixes are exactly the same as that. So once you've set that up like that, you're basically golden. If you don't know how to set up the control room, keep watching and I'll show you. This is the project window, so I want to go over to the right here, this little show hide righty zone. Click that, and you might be familiar with this or this, but we want the CR, the control room, and you can see mine's already activated, so I've got these going on here. However, you might want to see this best in the mix console. So again, I'm going to press F3 to bring up my mix console because I've not screwed around with some of my default shortcut keys. And once again, I'm going to click here to open up my control room. Now, I need to set up my Q mixes here, and as you can see, I don't have any, but fear not. If you don't have any, you can also do what I'm about to do. Click on this gear coggy thing here and come down to Q sends, click on that, and like a boss, nothing happens because Cubase. Really? But I mean, really? This is the point where we'd have kind of like intermission music while I punch the living shit out of my computer. Okay, we're back, and I think it's probably because Steinberg are listening to what I said about the UR242 and just wanted to teach me a lesson. So let's see if this works. Q-Sense, here we go. So right, yes, once we've done the cogs in the mix console, we've got our Q-Sense here. I can click here and we can open our Q-Sense. Mine are already activated for the most part, so it's really quite simple. I have got 4 cue mixes set up, and I've named them drums, bass, guitar, vocals, and you can see them here, drums, bass, guitar, and vocals. This is my drums channel, and you can see that my drums channel is coming out of all of the above, but not the vocals. It's not going to come out of my vocals cue mix, which would be my number 4 over here. So I can turn it on or off, depending on whether I want the drums in my cue mix. If I want to edit all of them at once, for example, I can click here, and I can click on the first channel whilst holding down Shift, and voila, I have selected all of them. If I press and hold Shift and Alt at the same time, I can then change any of this stuff across all of these all at the same time, like some kind of magician. So here, for example, I can turn all of them on. There we go. And I can adjust all of the volumes for everything by slidey, slidey, slidey. So remember, you can see this is up here, Cue Link. That's Shift and Alt to do that. So for example, on my drums mix, I want my drums pretty loud. I'm going to want my bass fairly loud, but the rest of the stuff you can see I've got it pretty low because I don't need it higher. Whereas for example, for my bass mix, I might want you know, my guitars and everything else a bit quieter, like that. I might want my, you know, my drums pretty loud and my bass as it is. So that's how you can alter the volumes of everything individually or all together. This is how you can turn it on and off for the individual mixes, cue mixes, if you want to send it or don't want to send that particular channel. And the final thing is, we've got here, let me select them all, pre-fader, and if I change that, post-fader, and you can see it's a different color. So I'm going to want mine pre-fader because I don't want my fader changes to change the volume coming out of my cue mixes, because that's kind of stupid, because you know, the whole point of the cue mix is so I don't have to faff around with the mixing or with my mix in order to get my drums louder while I'm recording drums, or my bass louder while I'm recording bass, etc. If it's coming out after the fader, then any changes that I make to my mix is going to reflect in my cue mix, which is going to suck. I don't want that. So I don't think you want that. So that's why I'm going to leave it like that. So that is how you set it all up. So just a quick refresher, press F4, make sure that you've gone to your control room. You can get rid of the, under outputs, get rid of your audio device there, go to control room, add it in as a monitor here, make sure you've set up the left and the right mix outputs rather for the main mix channels, and then set up your cue mixes with a right click here. They'll be there if you haven't already set them up. You don't have to connect them at all. Give them a nice name, come across to the project window or to your mix console, make sure that you've got this righty zone open. Oh geez, I think I'm going to kill it again. And select, or make sure rather, you can see the control room here. And then the final thing, which you're probably wondering, yeah, but I can't hear anything. That's because, I've got to say this quietly so it doesn't kill me, Steinberg sucks when you're trying to record system audio and a USB mic to do a screen grab video like this, and the audio won't come out on this recording. It will come out on my headphones, but it won't come out on the recording for no good reason. However, what we can see here is, look, if I've got the mix here and I play the song, which is going to sound rubbish because I've turned off all my plugins because it was crashing. If I come to here and select the mix, you're not going to be able to see anything. Forget about this. I had set this up so that all the volumes would look different when I go to the different cue sends. Let's see if I can do this here. Okay. Cue sends, cue sends, cue sends. Look, here we go. You can see the cue sends are making this, by bringing down the cue sends on the drum channel, you can see it's all gone nice and quiet there, but it hasn't altered the volume going on here. And if I go to my main mix, you can see it jumps up a bit there, and if I have the mix coming out there, you can see it jumps up there as well. So hope that was useful, hope that was very clear, and I hope that, just like me, finally you're able to work out very simply and quickly how to set up cue sends so that when you're recording on your own, you can have a different headphone mix depending on what group or what instrument you're recording. Let me know in the comments if this was good, bad, helpful or not, and rock on, yo. Cheers, bye.